Sinclair, what a lineup. Esme, I'm going to begin with you. Was it kind of a first 45 minutes you expected given the aggregate score?
Yeah, it was a bit sort of tentative and no real chances either way. We were saying the tempo of the game was a bit strange. It didn't really flow. Neither team sort of had controlled possession for long periods. It was very stop-start.
It was really stop-start. And I guess, was that, as I say, to be expected, do you think, Nedum? We're kind of, we've got the goals, also they probably don't want to concede another 5.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's kind of stuff we were saying before the show where they don't want to be embarrassed. They want to try and win the game, but a win of a game is like a 1-0. They're not thinking that the only win that counts is a 5-0 or a 6-0. So you can see that in the way that they're approaching things. They're not throwing too many bodies forward. And for City, it's probably frustrating for some people, but they play the same way all the time. They'll control possession, they'll move the ball, and they'll pass and probe. And, when they're scoring 3, 4, 5 goals, it's the most exciting thing in the world. But now they're coming up against a side where, as I say, the pride is on the line. And to be fair, 45 minutes before this one, there was a team that probably didn't have that going for them.
Yeah, it really probably so. And if we're looking at Sporting Lisbon, giving a better account of themselves than the first leg, Trevor?
Yeah, they sat in 5 at the back, very narrow. You can see the spaces. There's not much space. I think just at the end there, Phil Foden's first time ball to
Raheem, that one?
Raheem, yeah.
That was the first time we got in properly, behind the lines. It was a great first touch. Tried to dink it, but the keeper did well, stood up. But it's been really difficult to create clear-cut chances. Couple of penalty or ish incidents. I think the first one could quite easily have been given.
Yep.
The second one might have been outside, but it's certainly a foul. But all in all, controlled the game. I've been impressed with CJ. I think he's had a few good touches. There was one incident where the ball went over the top, and I think Stones was saying clear it, and he's kind of let it and just brought it down on his phone.
Oh, it's class, yeah. It's immaculate.
Yeah. And I thought, I seen Stones afterwards just looking at him a couple of times thinking, all right, you got it.
What have you made of CJ's first 45 minutes there, Esme?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's looked really composed and made a good run supporting up the right-hand side as well. And it's just as we were saying earlier, the role is exactly what he does at youth level, so it's seamless for him. Maybe even easier having Bernardo playing alongside him, just supporting him in those areas. But I think he's done well defensively as well, snuffing out the winger.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been very impressed.
Very impressed indeed. And I was sat with my dad as well, and actually says, do you know what I love about this lad, Kel? He's keeping it simple. Which I guess actually sometimes you want to kind of come in and maybe you're trying to exert yourself, but actually sometimes, Ned, keeping it simple is best.
You call it simple and stuff, but it's making the right decisions overall. And when you look at that whole City lineup, that's what they're doing. Whether it's a ball to a 6, whether it's a ball to a fullback, whether it's a ball to a winger, it's a neat, tidy, clean pass. A pass appreciation's there, goes to the right foot, all that type of stuff. The City's back line, I think I spoke to Esme about this, and it's really interesting. The talent that City have throughout the whole football club is one whereby you could have Mavericks, but then instead, the emphasis is on making sure you do the right things all the time.
Yes.
So you say he's keeping it simple, but the fact is, he's doing the job. And if Kyle Walker was playing in the same position, he'd be doing the same passes with the same intent.
Yeah.
And that's why, as I say, he's not perceived as a weakness within there because he gets it and the system's fantastic.
So a great tweet just come up there talking about Fernandinho's another 10 years, please. I mean, again, he's he said in my ear, he's like the human version of a red wine. He's like a Rolls Royce on the pitch, Trev, isn't he?
He gets better. I mean, he's just so calm and influence amongst the whole team. You can see him. The ball's over on the right-hand side. He's speaking to people on the left, getting them organised, making sure they're doing the right things. And he's shown his passing range, a little left to right, got it out of his feet. Beautiful ball, just in behind the fullback. I don't know whether it was the fullback or the left centre-half, but it was a great ball just in behind there. And, he looks impressive. He looks like he's not been away, really.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think the ball you're talking about was Jesus took it so well, pinged it across first time. It almost looked like Sterling was right in, wasn't it? But then it was all low knee with an incredible last-ditch tackle.
What's he doing?
Yeah, come on.
It's got to be a fine. Club fine for that.
But actually, that was a difficult tackle to make. In credit where it's due, to be in the penalty box as well against Raheem. He did so well, didn't he, Porro, there?
Yeah, Sterling makes that run so well to the back post. He's always in there, and Pep will be desperate for that. Every single time there's a crossing opportunity, he wants someone at the front post, someone at the back post, and someone ready for the pullback. And Raheem does that back post run so well. And as a defender, it's horrible when you know that you're not going to get back in time to turn your body shape outwards to clear it properly. It's going to get whipped across the face.
Yeah.
you're not really sure where to put it because you could well fire it straight into your own net, and it's really difficult to deal with. But he did well to sort of hook it
around.
on.
And do you? I mean, I guess you do kind of have to go for it, though, don't you? I mean, depending on how if it goes in the back of the net.
Just picture if somebody doesn't go for it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
there was a centre back for a team of the weekend who didn't go for something after his keeper saved it.
Yeah.
Not sure if you know who I'm talking about, but it's for Man United.
Yeah, I know.
And after Phil flicked over someone's head and had the shot, he decided to let it go through his legs.
Yeah.
It's not always.
It's not always. You've got to take responsibility.
Exactly.
If you've not checked your shoulder and you don't know what's around you, just clear it out.
Yeah.
You can deal with the corner.
Yeah.
Get yourselves back in. Everyone back in behind the ball and deal with the corner. That wasn't safe. I mean, I don't know what's going on. To be honest,
I think for me, like, there are centre backs who want to show that they're a good player and prove people wrong. But these days, you get more credit for being able to actually defend properly first. You know what I mean? And that's a breath of fresh air, because I think it was probably like 5-6 years ago.
Really good tackle. I mean, it's a tap-in, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the far post for Sterling. And just going off what Esme said there, as a winger, you know, if you don't get in there and the ball does get left and you don't finish it, you're in trouble with the coach.
One of my friends always used to say, and he said it like a joke, but I believe it. He said there's 10 a season in there. Literally, like, he used to say it's 10 a season in there after he puts the ball in.
Say that.
It's 10 a season. And I'm like, it probably is.
Yeah,
like, the ball goes there. It's like, oh, if only we had somebody there.
Question, Trev, as the winger, when people talk about the timing of Sterling's run, what is that then? Is it saying because is it his sixth sense, or is it rehearsed that there's a trigger for when he knows he has to go for when the ball's going to arrive?
A little bit of both.
Right.
It might be a slow build up down the right hand side and you're getting in on the far post, so you just got to hang out a little bit. But at times that was match tempo, so Ferner played the ball in. It was a really good first touch, offensive touch on the right hand side. Got it out of his feet, and he was just slammed it in blind. And that's the one where you can't be on your heels, because if you're on the heels, ball watching it a little bit, it's gone.
Yeah.
So you've got to be reading that situation. It was fantastic ball in by Jesus. You know, it was blind. He didn't know who was in there, but he thought, I'm just going to. It could have been a defender, like Esme said, running back towards your own goal there. I mean, I scored an own goal for City against Blackburn.
We don't need to talk about it.
We won the game. We won the game.
Talk about it, yeah.
I was fuming, but it was a great ball in, and it was just one of them where you don't sort your feet out, and before you know it, you put it in your own net. So it's not just defenders that do that.
Well, listen, let's take a little pause from our chat because we've got our game Who's Stat now. The conversation was flowing that much, we didn't get to our second clue. So we're going to do all three clues in this half-time break, a little special, and we'll see if Esme confirms the one you were thinking, okay? I got no conferring here in the studio. Oh, whispers. All right, so clue number one is this player scored his first City goals in a big win over Arsenal. Clue number two.
Is that him in the shadow as well?
No comment. Clue number two. This player has the same number of City goals as his shirt number.
Oh, God, I can't confirm that.
Okay.
I'm hoping the third one's a bit more.
Clue number three is this. Here we go. This player is in the top 20 of all-time City appearances. Esme, does that add up to your guess?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, nice. You're sticking
Based
with
on the
it?
length of time he's been here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Nice. That's a good clue about it's the same number as goals as the number on his back.
Yeah, but who's keeping track of each and every player's goals over the years? That's a struggle, that.
Nedum, you're looking perplexed.
I'm so lost here. I'm trying to figure out squad numbers and all sorts now. I'm trying to figure this out.
Would you have scored as many goals as your number?
Well, my number was particularly low, so yes. That's the issue with me, yeah.
I'm not 14, I'm way off.
Yeah, good luck to you, by
Trevor,
the way.
have you got a guess for who's... I mean, did you score as many goals as your shirt number? More.
28, yeah, more. Yeah, I can't think who that is.
It's been nice,
I can't think who that is.
I know, okay. Well, listen, we've got to listen to someone in the studio. Esme's got it. We're going to reveal who Esme's guess is at full time. But if you've got your guesses, get them in. I'll read a few of them out as we go as well. I'm going to be handing over to Alistair Mann shortly for the second half. But with these next 45 minutes, obviously, it was kind of, we were saying, hoping maybe introduce some of the youngsters. Do you think he still might, or do you think he'll have to get a couple goals first?
I think he'd want to see a bit of a better performance before he starts changing it, because it's probably not as clinical as Pep would like, and I think he'd like to see the patterns and things that we do normally so well put into place before he starts rotating the team and giving opportunities to younger players.
Nice. Well, fingers crossed we get those goals indeed. And I mean, Nedum, for you, if we were to try and find a couple of those goals, as we say, it's been a little bit of a funny pace and flow to the game. Is there anything you think Pep will be asking for, or City could be doing differently maybe to get those goals?
I think at the back they've moved the ball well, midfield they've moved the ball well, but there've been just a few final balls which haven't been to essentially their standard, a couple of decisions which haven't been right, and you can always clean up that side of the game. So I think if they sort of remind those players of that fact, I think they go out there with the same strategy, before you know it, you'll be seeing some of those goals that we've seen so many times before, which is a true blessing.
There was a little tweet, Trev, that came in saying, screaming out for Jack Grealish. If we were to spice it up a little bit, you know, and throw a little bit of something into the mix, who would you be looking to?
Yeah, I think Grealish, because when you get them tight areas, he sucks people in because he's so strong and his spatial awareness is good, but he's got that little one in between the lines, but close, because they've got 5 at the back and they are really close and tight. Defending well, I have to say. Not much going forward for him, but they are defending well. It's really difficult to break that down. But if you bring Jack Grealish on, I think him and Foden have got a really good relationship. So I think that could be the unlocking of them. Jesus has had a yellow. He might think about bringing him off because he wouldn't want to go down to 10 men and bring any kind of jeopardy to this result after the second leg. So a couple of little things there to think about.
Quick mention on the yellows as well. Actually, a couple of their players have picked up yellows as well. So I guess there is they'll be thinking the exact same, Nedum, if they potentially, you know.
Well, you get the feeling like they've got 45 minutes more in the Champions League, so I don't think you'll be thinking, can you take me off so I can protect myself from the red light?
Yeah.
I think as a player, you have to understand that if you're on a yellow, you have to play the game differently, and you don't want to be taken off because you're not trusted to be able to handle that situation. So I can't see them bringing those off because of that.
By the way, how hard is John Stones?
That's
he
10
took that flush off Slimani.
Oh,
really bad elbow, to be fair. Luckily, it didn't open him up, but he just rubbed his nose and then got on with it. And next minute, he's on the ball.
So you want to see, isn't it?
Yeah,
proper centre half now.
There we go.
He's a
That's
proper
a lad from Barnsley. There we go. Well, listen, absolute pleasure as always. We're back at full time, and thank you to you all for watching as well. Remember, for your matchday commentary, Alistair Mann is joined by Andy Morrison. The teams are just about to take to the tunnel to head out. So without further ado, Alistair Mann, back to you, sir.
It's fantastic that we should have such an array of talent in our Matchday Live studio, and actually, oddly enough, I've commentated with 2 of them. Esme was my co-commentator a few weeks ago, and at the weekend I had the privilege of Nedum Onuoha alongside me, so it's only Trevor Sinclair left now on my list of Matchday Live guests to have alongside